Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK. Today, we analyze the stories behind elite sport, where reputation, pressure, and trust are put to the test. If you're interested in deep and human-centered perspectives, please subscribe to the channel. In elite sport, there are moments that are not decided by goals, tackles, or tactics, but by things far more silent, lingering, and heavy. This story revolves around Asenathi Ntlabakanye, one of the rising players of the Springboks, and the concern openly acknowledged by head coach Rassie Erasmus. It is not merely a case involving a prohibited substance, it is a raw snapshot of an athlete's condition. The fragility of reputation, and the blurred line between legitimate effort and the ever-present suspicion in modern sport. What struck me first was not the adverse analytical finding, but Erasmus's very human emotion. In a sporting world often filled with defensive, evasive, or formulaic statements, a head coach admitting that he is worried about his player is rare. That concern does not stem from potential damage to team performance, but from a deep understanding of the road Ntlabakanye has traveled, a road paved with sweat, relentless effort, and self-doubt. Asenathi Ntlabakanye was never a breakout prodigy, nor the kind of player loudly celebrated by the media. He represents the type who develops slowly but steadily, sacrificing a great deal to earn recognition. Losing between 15 and 18 kilograms from an initial body weight close to 160 kilograms is not just a statistic. For a tight head prop, it represents a physical revolution, a complete overhaul of lifestyle habits and the will to push beyond personal limits. Such weight loss in professional sport means enduring brutal training sessions, persistent muscle pain, and constant uncertainty. Am I truly on the right path?
Within that context, the role of Darn Human emerges as a vital anchor. More than just a scrum coach, Human embodies our actions over words philosophy. Simple in theory, ruthless in practice. Ntlabakanye didn't just learn how to train better, he learned to take responsibility for his own progress. His comments about Human reflect genuine gratitude, free of cliché. It is a mentor-student relationship built on discipline, trust, and patience. That is why the news of a positive doping test came as such a shock. It didn't just surprise fans, it introduced a painful paradox. How could a player known for hard work and physical transformation, through relentless training become entangled in a doping suspicion? This contradiction makes the story far more complex. Because it strikes directly at trust, fragile, yet absolutely essential in sport. Notably, Ntlabakanye has not been provisionally suspended. From a legal and procedural standpoint, this suggests the case is far from settled, with many factors still to be clarified. Yet in reality, the dark cloud described in the narrative does not wait for a final verdict. It hovers over the player, his career, and the minds of fans. Even without a conclusion, suspicion has already emerged, and once it does, it is extremely difficult to erase completely. The delay of the hearing only deepens the weight of the situation. From December 2025 to the end of March the following year, this is not merely a few months of administrative waiting. For an athlete, it is an extended period of living in uncertainty, competing without knowing what the future holds, training without confidence that one ruling won't erase everything. That psychological pressure can be even more devastating than physical injury. Against this backdrop, Rassie Erasmus's response is deeply thought-provoking. He neither blindly defends nor distances himself to protect the image. Instead, he chooses a balanced yet profoundly human path, acknowledging his concern, expressing support, but withholding judgment. This reflects a maturity in people management that not every coach possesses, especially at national team level. When Erasmus says he does not believe Ntlabakanye intentionally did anything wrong, it is not a legal assertion, but a personal assessment grounded in first-hand knowledge. He has seen the training sessions, the sweat, the unseen effort. At the same time, he is careful to stress that he is not judging the final outcome. That stance demonstrates respect for both the individual athlete and the anti-doping system, a balance that is difficult to achieve. From a personal perspective, this story captures the tragedy of modern sport with striking clarity. On one hand, we demand athletes be stronger, faster, more resilient. On the other, we place them under unprecedented scrutiny. A single adverse analytical finding can cast suspicion over an entire journey of dedication. In such an environment, the line between legitimate effort and moral doubt becomes painfully thin. Ntlabakanye's case also forces reflection on how the public reacts to situations like this. We tend to rush into camps, either defending the athlete at all costs or condemning them before any official conclusion. Both extremes lack patience and fairness. Sport, at its core, is a human story, full of mistakes, imperfections, and circumstances that even those involved cannot always fully control. What troubles me most is this question: even if Ntlabakanye is completely cleared, will that dark cloud truly disappear? Sporting history shows that many athletes, despite being proven innocent, continue to carry invisible scars throughout their careers. Trust, once shaken, rarely returns in its original form. That is the harsh price elite sport sometimes demands, yet within the story, I still see a glimmer of hope. It lies in the measured but sincere support from the coaching staff, the repeated emphasis on work ethic, and the belief that the right story will come out with the right outcome. Whatever the hearing's result, the way Erasmus and those around Ntlabakanye treat him during this difficult period will play a crucial role in shaping who he becomes in the future. Ultimately, this story reminds me that sport is not just about the numbers on the scoreboard. It is a journey of real people, with fears, hopes, and challenges that extend far beyond the field of play. At this moment, Asenathi Ntlabakanye is not just a Springboks tight head prop. He is a symbol of the fragility of reputation, the crushing pressure athletes endure, and the broader question of how we perceive, judge, and empathize with those who live under the sporting spotlight. Whatever the outcome of the hearing, I believe the story will endure as a lesson not only for athletes, but for fans, media, and those who govern sport. Because sometimes, what matters most is not the final verdict, but how we treat one another during the long wait for the truth to be revealed.
Sport is not only about winning, but also about the human stories behind the stadium lights. If you love thoughtful, in-depth perspectives like these, subscribe to Scrum Masters Elite _UK and join us on this journey.